Check, check, check.
That's a fucking Sam's Club! I know!
You are now listening to
Emergency exit. Bohemia. We thank thee for thy entry.
What up, Mike?
I'll let myself off. I know where the emergency exits are.
Oh, yeah. That right there, that's a passenger
He's in and
running
out.
along the tarmac. After jumping from the plane, the emergency exit.
Emergency exit, bro.
Should have like something that says live right there. Oh, I guess it already does say live. Yeah.
It's listed on the safety card. Please ask a flight.
Here we go.
Believe that I am capacitated to sit in the emergency exit of this
But in the event
aircraft.
of an emergency, your regular exit might not be the quickest or safest way out.
Emergency exit.
Hey! This emergency exit is painted on!
There's no way out. There's no way out. We're doomed.
That's right. Now is the time to open your mind. In our search for the unknown, who knows what we will find? This is Emergency Exit. I am your host, Los, and with me, as always, is Brandon, the Hard Hat Mitchell.
Hard hat.
I'm gonna give you the hard hat.
I'm sans hard hat right now. I don't have one on, so
Start wearing one, or
Yeah.
at least keep one nearby there.
just put it in the background. We'll hang it up somewhere.
It'll just be there somewhere. We are streaming live again on Facebook. Hey, Facebook fans, thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 42. Today is July 10th, 2017. We are streaming live. Oh, there it is. We are broadcasting to you from our emergency exit, floating tin can, far above the world. That's right.
All right, impressive.
not bad, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This week on the program, summer camp is loved by many folks. The fun under the sun, the follies and the jollies, and the ritual human sacrifices.
Whoa, I don't
That's
I don't
right.
remember that from camp.
Today we will visit a secret club for the rich and powerful. The playground for the well-to-do. Let's take a look at the Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Club? As you say, the Bohemian Club? That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right? I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
That's right. Elite men's clubs are actually a relatively rare phenomenon, with perhaps fewer than 200 in the United States for a total membership of about 200,000. In Monterey, California, just north of San Francisco, among the dense and droll redwood trees, you will find the rarest elite club, the 2,700-acre campground called the Bohemian Grove. And now it's belonging to a private men's art club known as the Bohemian Club. And this time each year, the Bohemian Grove hosts a 2-week, 3-weekend encampment of some of the most prominent men in the world.
Wow.
How about that?
That's deep, man. So this is every year at the same place?
Every year at the same time,
Okay.
they come out to the redwood forest and they hang out. It's a summer camp, man.
Okay. Man, that's a lot of information
Excuse
there.
me, my God.
Oh.
Well, what's the first rule of Bohemian Grove?
You don't talk about
Don't
Bohemian
talk
Grove,
about
I
Bohemian
believe.
Grove. Bohemian Grove has a secret membership whose ironic primary directive is to never speak with reporters. The secrecy surrounding the group has given rise to rumors of homosexuality and bizarre rituals involving Satanism and human sacrifice.
Those always seem to go hand in hand, don't they? Satanism and human sacrifice?
Yeah, I suppose, you could say those guys go hand in hand. Why not, man? Let's see here. There's even speculation that the Bohemian Grove is actually an offshoot of a secret cult stretching back through history to ancient Egypt. Egypt.
Does that are there any ties in there with Aleister Crowley and the OTO? I wonder.
I didn't dig that deep, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Well, you could find a lot of stuff, you know, and with a simple something search of the group, you will find that its members have included numerous former U.S. presidents and various masters of industry. If you dig deeper, and you'll discover that it's actually a playground. A playground. Oh yes, that's better. For an elite cabal plotting New World Order, global domination, alongside the Elders of Zion, Knights Templar, Freemasons, and Illuminati. That really depends on how paranoid the riders are, though, of course.
Heyo!
No, you don't have to do that. No. All right, the Grove's motto. Well, okay, I'm reading this like a report. All right, who wants to read their report? Ladies and gentlemen, here's my report on. I've been talking to you about the Bohemian Grove. All right. Well,
over the summer, your book report was?
Well, let's see. I was going to try to get Nick on here with us, but Nick's also he's out again.
Oh, man.
He'll be back next week, hopefully.
Okay.
Check it out. All right. Well, the Grove's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," is taken from a play by Shakespeare, and it was originally intended as a warning against members discussing business at the club. Naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weaving spiders, shitting.
Where you sleep?
Shitting dogs. Not lay here.
I don't know that one.
Okay. How about drinking alcoholics? Not drink here.
I feel like you're getting further away.
No, it's close enough. Warning.
You get your point across.
Yeah. I just want to keep trying to go with that, I guess. Yet the Grove's guest list suggests that matters of national and even global policy are indeed discussed there. The most famous example, privately confirmed by the all-male Bohemian Grove members, or bohos, as they refer to themselves, and I think that's how we should start addressing them from now on. So bohos is the Manhattan Project, which supposedly met there when they decided to drop the A-bomb on Hiroshima.
So they're the ones who came up with the idea of the A-bomb? Or to use it?
They talked about it, though. They said, hey, how can we fuck everybody in the world? How can we make some more money? Let's go ahead and bomb somebody. You know, well, first we got
the war machine going.
Well, first, and then they work out the details. That's what they mean discuss. Well, first we got to make sure that we go to war over something. So what do? Well, we'll have the president declare war over some fake bombing that happened on a ship, and we'll take them down there. Dang, I'll tell you what.
Oh, I think I know that one.
I think it's Vietnam's.
Yeah.
That's not or the Pearl Harbor. That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, there. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, either way, they were probably still fabricated events, or at least they were allowed to happen.
I don't know. We should cover a false flag episode. You know, like people say that Pearl Harbor is a false flag.
But I mean, I think if we did that, we would have to strictly define what is a false flag. You know, because if the government knew about it, but they didn't do anything to stop it, could that really be a false flag?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. We getting some comments over there?
Just hearing, just seeing if there's anybody there. Don't have to mention it. What the fuck's your problem? Former guest speakers at the Grove from the former White House alone include Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, hey Rummy, and George W. himself. In years past, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, Harry Kissinger, and Richard Nixon are all known to have attended the festivities. The Federal Reserve, for instance, has been run by a Bohemian Grove, a boho member, since its inception in 1913.
So you're telling me the people that make the money are here, and they're all buddy-buddy with people who make the policies on how to give the money and how to spend the money. They're all...
Well, you really see it's just a club for these rich people to hang out. You know, it's an elite club that takes... also, membership is very hard to get. I think I'll talk about that in a little bit there.
Oh, okay.
But how did it all get started? You're probably asking yourself.
I am.
Ask yourself that.
How did all this get started?
Well, the tradition of a summer encampment was established 6 years ago after the Bohemian Club was formed in 1872. Henry Harry Edwards. Henry Harry Edwards.
What kind of facial hair did he have?
He's called Harry.
Okay.
Maybe that's because his name is Henry, but we got to imagine he's got a beard.
I would imagine.
You called Harry? Well, there is a Harry. I can think of one Harry that doesn't have a beard.
I can think of one.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Henry Harry Edwards, we'll just call him Harry Edwards, is a stage actor and founding member. He announced that he was relocating to New York City to further his career. On June 29th, 1878, man, that was a long time ago, somewhat fewer than 100 Bohemians gathered in the Redwoods No, they're not bohos yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess you can call them bohos. Bohos came later.
Oh, okay. That was after.
These guys are actual bohemians, you know, because they're artists and everything.
Oh, okay. Seems
They
right.
gathered in the Redwoods, blah, 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 for an evening send-off party in Edward's honor. Freely flowing liquor and some Japanese lanterns put a glow on the festivities, and the club members retired at a late hour to the modest comfort of blankets laid in the dense mat of redwood needles. So they actually roughed it, man.
That's camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's now they got cabins and all that shit to go with, and they're putting lots of money into it. So it's it's accommodated real nicely, I'm sure.
So it's got electricity everywhere. And
Yeah, man. It's got all
running
that shit,
water.
you know, toilet paper. Let's see. Where are we at on this? Freely flowing. I said that already.
The redwood needles.
Yeah, that's right. This festive gathering was repeated the next year without Edwards and became the club's yearly encampment. By 1882, the members of the club camped together at various locations in both Marin and Sonoma County, including the present-day Moyer Woods and a Redwood Grove. That one stood near Duncan Mill, several blah, 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 blah. Gradually, over the next decades, members of the club purchased land surrounding, just like I said, they purchased all the land around it, which is now what we know as the Bohemian Grove there.
Okay.
And I was talking about membership earlier. Like, how would you become a member?
How does one, who I mean, because you've got to know the right people.
Now, I don't know when they started. It's a very secretive club. It's like all the stuff you can really get comes from just a couple sources, really, and who knows how legitimate they are. But from what I know about how to become a member, you have to obviously be invited by somebody.
Okay, so you have to be sponsored.
But I also hear that there's a waiting list, so it's like a decade long, and once you get on that, you stay on, and then after a certain amount of years, I think Edgar Hoover got his 40-year chip or something. You called like an old grove or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. It's a whole club, but we don't know too much about it because it is a secretive club.
Of course,
it
of
has
course.
to be a secretive club. If we had a club and I said, man, all this stuff's really cool in here. What we're doing in here is pretty fucking awesome. Let's not invite anybody. Mum's the word. The first rule of Bohemian Club is we do not talk about Bohemian Club here.
Right.
Are you a boho or are you a homo?
Well, what would our different camps' names be?
Well, they had lots of names. You know the names. What are the names there?
There was Hillbilly for one.
Yeah, that was where the bushes were.
Yeah, that was all the bushes. Let's see, there was the Lost Boys, I think, was one of them. Something about an owl. Owls are a very common theme when dealing with the Bohemian Grove. Apparently, they have a 40-foot stone owl on the premises.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit there.
Yeah.
Well, the first meeting was much different than today. In the first 50 years of the club's existence, the Bohemian Grove was comparatively accessible to outsiders. It was mostly artists, musicians, painters, writers, etc. Those bohos are surely dead, and throughout time the demographics shifted, possibly because the artists felt as if their party got crashed. So now we're seeing lots of Republicans. I need to say on the mic a little more.
It got taken over pretty much.
Yeah, and they're like, this is shitty. What the fuck are we doing here? So they started Burning Man. What do you think about that?
So they went and started Burning Man, the artists?
Yeah.
I mean, when did Burning Man originate? Do you know?
I don't know, in the 70s or something.
I mean, until then, you heard it here first on Emergency Exit that Burning Man is the old Bohemian Grove.
It's the new Bohemian Grove.
Or the new, yeah.
And then once the...
But if it's the original members, wouldn't it just be the old? Whatever.
I don't know. It's just a funny thing. In the 1930s, as the club gained influence and its redwoods provided a haven for Republican presidents, it grew quite secretive about its rituals and its membership. So, like I said, it's hard to fucking figure out what's going on there. Whew.
Man, that's a lot. Now, last month, didn't they have the Bilderberg Group?
Bilderberg Group. And a lot of people call this Bilderberg West.
Bilderberg West?
Yeah.
Okay. 2.0?
2.0 or just, Bilderberg West. They don't want to say much about it. I used to say, what if they do all their business, dirty work at the Bilderberg Group meeting, and then they go to Bohemian Grove the month later and party out with them?
That's like their
making
summer
deals.
vacation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they do some
because they're there for like 2.5
questionable things.
weeks,
So what's first on the agenda here, man? What happens? So we know nothing because we are not members and we've never been there. And if we were members, I'm sure as hell telling you we would not make a fucking episode on the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
But there have been a few stowaways that got into the Grove, you know, and they all elaborate a special ceremony that goes on there.
And what might that be?
Oh, let me tell you, Len. Hey, well, ABC back in 1981 released a report on the Bohemian Grove by reporter Steve Shepard. It reveals some bizarre happenings at the Grove. G. William Dumhoff, a sociology professor, is interviewed. He says a lot of things about it there. He claims that it's just a bunch of men reliving summer camp. The report makes one mention of a kickoff ceremony called the Cremation of Care, and this is where we're gonna get into the stuff. This is why it gets it's weird.
So it's the ceremony, like the act itself of getting together in the woods and doing whatever. That's no big deal, but it's pretty much this ritual or this set of rituals that they do that should be kind of raising a red flag, or maybe not even a red flag, but just questionable acts.
Yeah, man. It's questionable because it seems it's. Let's get into exactly what we have here now. 8 years later, after that ABC in 1989, that ABC report, mind you, a writer from Spy magazine allegedly spent a few days in the encampment. He snuck his ass in, and he lived to write about it. Now that's a pretty long article. And this comes from Spy Magazine, November 1989, pages 59 through 76.
Them's was the good years.
Them's the good years. I remember 1989. Philip Weiss was the man who wrote this article. Now, this is going down. This is about a quarter down. And he talks about the Cremation of Care. So here we go. One reason for the Bohemian Club's poor public relations is the name it gave to the yearly opening ceremony, the Cremation of Care. The cremation is intended to put the busy men of the club at ease and banish the stress of the outside world. But it arouses critics of the encampment because they interpret it to mean that Bohemians literally don't care about the outside world. Cremation of Care, they fear, means the death of caring. They literally call it the Cremation of Care. Okay, so
I can get behind why they would think that, but it also makes sense that they're all these high tier business-like politicians, and if they are really truly there for a summer getaway, that they're going to want to kind of relieve their shoulders of their heavy burden that they have in their day-to-day life, right?
Yeah.
So it may that's not very too questionable there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he spent some time in there and he wrote about it, and you read about it there. Check out the Spy Magazine article. We're going to continue more with this. Check this out. Now, he gets more into detail about the Grove and what goes on there. Here we go with a little bit of eerie music. The cremation took place. The cremation took place at the man-made lake. That is the center of a lot of Grove social activity. At 9:15 p.m., a procession of priests carrying the crypt of Mr. Dole Care came out of the trees on the east side, just along the Grove's chief thoroughfare, River Road. They wore bright red, blue, and orange hooded robes that might have been designed for the Ku Klux Klan by Mirig Miko. When they reached the water, they extinguished their torches. At some point, the Hamadryads, or the tree spirits, and another priest who appeared at the base of the lake, they sang songs about care. They told of how a man's heart is divided between reality and fantasy, how it is necessary to escape to another world of fellowship among men. Vaguely homosexual undertones suffuse this spectacle, as they do much of ritualized life in the Grove. The main priest wore a pink and green satin costume, while a Hamadryad appeared before a redwood in a gold-spangled bodysuit dripping with rhinestones. It's pretty descriptive there, man. It's pretty cool. they spoke of fairy ungunnits that would free men to pursue warm fellowship. And I was reminded of something. Herman Woke wrote about the Grove, men can decently love each other. They always have, but women never quite understand. Then the crypt of Care was pulled slowly down the lake by a black robed figure in a black gondola, accompanied by a great deal of special effects smoke. Yeah. Just as the priest set out towards the crypt, a red light appeared high in the redwood, and large speakers in the forest amplified the crackling voice of Care. Fools! When will ye learn that me ye cannot slay? Year after year, ye burn me in this grove. But when again ye turn your feet against the marketplace, I am not waiting for you, as of old. With that Care spat upon the fire, extinguishing them. The fire goes out. The priest turned in desperation to the owl. O thou, great symbol of all mortal wisdom, Owl of Bohemia, grant us thy counsel! Every year, there are new wrinkles in the cremation ceremony. The big improvement this year was to project a sort of hologram onto the owl's face so that its beak seemed to move. Also, it was Walter Cronkite talking. Cronkite camps in the Hillbillies along with George W. and George H.W. there.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, you hear that? You hear that frog? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Cronkite, as the owl, said that the only way Care could be cremated was to use fire from the lamp of fellowship before him, an eternal gas flame that burns day and night while the encampment is on. So yeah, they have the eternal light. That's always in it. We'll get into the Alex Jones stuff here in just a moment here. So they did it. They went up in blazes. Around me, the men exploded in huzzahs! Fireworks went off at Lakeside, and a brass band in peppermint striped jackets and straw boaters came out of the woods playing "There'll Be a Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight."
I'm afraid I don't know that song, but I might have to look that up after this.
Alright, so down with all fears, up with your cheers, for his cares mocking is turning to sobbing and tears. So they burned up the Care. That's how it goes.
Wow.
Doesn't that sound fucking wacky?
That is insane. And how many people were on stage? Did it say how many priests?
Yeah, it's just a bunch. It was a bunch of people. I don't know how much. Do you know how much?
I think it was. Like you're fishing? I feel like it was like 60 or something like that.
Man, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people in robes, and we don't really know too much. This is like coming out of a magazine. Now, what is Spy Magazine? Have you ever heard of Spy Magazine?
No, I thought
Spy versus Spy, or something like that. Mad Magazine or something.
I thought it was like all the spy tech gear and gadget. That's kind of what I thought.
Let me give you a little bit of background on Spy Magazine.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, so Spy Magazine was a magazine from 1986 to 1998.
Okay.
So this definitely falls like it came out about 3 years after they started the magazine. So by combining satirical journalism with in-depth reporting, Spy took a snarky, more irrelevant look at American life and gained notoriety as a magazine that no celebrity or politician was safe from, taking jabs at George Bush, Donald Trump, and Bill Clinton, among many others. Spy was aggressive in its investigative reporting and was able to tear down notable public figures. Founded by Kurt Anderson and E. Graydon Carter from Harvard Lampoon and Time, respectively. The wits behind Spy gave it momentum and character before its ultimate demise in the late 90s. So it's really hard to take this article seriously because it's admittedly satirical.
Satirical, yeah. So, caution flag number 1 right there.
However, the transcript from the next intruder that we know of, Alex Jones, collaborates the Cremation of Care. What we just said, fools! You think you can burn me, whatever I was saying there. So it collaborates it all the way down to the letter in his popular expose. Yeah. Which, man, I've been talking my fucking face off. So here, you want to go at it, dude?
Yeah, I got it.
You need this or that or the other?
I'll take this. I got it right here.
All right, so I'll give you here. I'll give you some background, and you can put the crickets back on.
Frogs. It was the frogs. It was all about the frogs. In July of 2000, talk show host Alex Jones and cameraman Mike Hansen stumbled upon the Grove and allegedly filmed the ritual known as the Cremation of Care. He was able to sneak past heavy security and video cameras mounted in the trees and got close enough to witness this act. According to Jones, him and his cameraman found an open spot in the barbed wire fence that surrounds the 2,700-acre campground. They make their way through what he calls a moat, an area that had recently been dug out and flooded, perhaps an additional layer of security?
Possibly.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they knew he was coming. They were able to cross by climbing on and over rocks and tree limbs. Once they got over the large water hazard, they proceeded to climb the steep embankment. When they reached the top, they were able to see the employee parking lot. Just the employee parking lot.
Yeah, and I watched this video, and I did see them. I did see them in the parking lot there. So continue. Don't worry about that. Keep that going.
Go
ahead.
Oh. After sneaking through the lot, they stumbled upon the actual member parking lot. And I'm sure the cars kind of gave them a big hint. You know, the type of cars that were there.
Well, I saw that video.
Staff
I saw the video, and there was just normal cars. I saw trucks there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they got picked up.
Oh, okay.
By a truck
by a big kind of box truck kind of thing.
A big old box truck that you can get into the back, like a hay truck almost. It was painted gray and black.
Yeah.
And it bared the owl, and it had the letters B and C on each side of the owl.
Bohemian Club.
What do you know?
All right.
What do you know?
From this point, they were able to hop on the truck that was shuttling members to the lot and the actual campground. He reports they were given questionable looks, but soon after they got in the truck, and two older gentlemen got on. While they made small talk, it was enough to fool the security forces into thinking Jones and Hansen were guests of the other two men.
Yeah, so it's pretty brilliant. You know, they hop on, and the whole time they got this little fanny pack or something. It's hard to, they don't know what kind of camera they have, but it's like a fanny pack that's strapped to the side of this guy.
Okay, is that how they got all the video? Was through the fanny pack cam?
Yeah,
fanny
totally.
cam.
The fanny cam. You got the fanny cam.
Yeah. From there, they had a few close calls, but thankfully they were informed of the basic houses of the Bohemian Club. When Jones was confronted by someone wearing a Sonoma County Sheriff's uniform asking a very oddly phrased question. Were you here in 1913? Are you one of the old ones? Now at that time, Alex Jones was 27 years old. This guy was obviously speaking in a code. But Jones kept his cool and replied,
"You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. You fucking goddamn fucker."
I don't think we would have the video if he actually said that.
No,
but,
that's right.
But he was like, yeah, I'm with the Hillbillies.
That's right.
The Hillbillies, of course, as we discussed earlier, being one of the many camps. This one contains all the Bushes and other members of banking and
Texans,
government.
boy, I tell you what. Yeah.
Them good old country boys.
Yeah. You know,
But however, this was curiously not recorded.
Yeah, so he says all this stuff that I got away with talking with the security and they believed me.
Yeah.
You know, they said that they made, I believe this whole thing might have been fabricated, but who knows, man.
It could have been, because he does make mention in his transcript that I have here, the very detailed one, that they had to stop several times to actually change the tapes.
Yeah.
I'm sure everything wasn't quite digital.
1 hour digital tapes.
So maybe, you know, some of these had happened after they had already run out of tape and they were in between. You know, you can't rule it out, but it is kind of very convenient.
It happened 3 times.
Yeah, so they should have been
3
running. Yeah, I got you. It does sound kind of convenient. Or maybe it just didn't happen anything like that.
I don't know, man.
Either way.
Maybe he was let into the Grove.
He was let in?
Yeah,
like they allowed him, or he was sponsored?
Like he was invited.
Oh, who would invite Alex Jones?
Maybe he's one of the elite, dude.
He could be. I mean, he could be a shill. God damn it.
Fucking blew it all up.
But he gets very he gets very red when you accuse him of being like a paid Russian or a paid CIA counterintelligence guy.
Yeah.
He gets very
Alex Jones is a Russian.
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch.
All right, take it easy, dude.
All right, man. We're going to make him mad. All right. So there were a few places when they were shuffling from place to place, and they stood out because everybody at Bohemian Grove, they're relaxed. You know, it's like you're at you're on a cruise or whatever. Not a care in the world.
Yeah, as security, who knows? You're looking around, you see a bunch of old guys, you see this guy, he's not standing out like a sore thumb or anything.
Mm-hmm. But he's just moving a lot quicker through people. It just kind of looks suspicious,
He happens to know a name of a camp there, you know, and he's got the Texas accent, so you got that working for him. There you go.
Yeah, that works. So he kind of talks the talk and blends in. But just the things that, security forces and other members would say. If they, kind of look like you're in a little bit of a hurry, they would say repeatedly, take it easy. Don't stress yourself out and enjoy yourself. Or, trouble yourselves not. Take it easy. The cares of the world are off your shoulders. And you're not supposed to walk that fast either.
Okay, so you can go ahead and pull that for now there. So from there on, we just get to see the Cremation of Care. You're going to play that there? Play that Cremation of Care?
Yeah.
Just have it in the background. So it's a pretty dark and rustic recording. And he says that there's these speakers that were making that frog noise. It might be possible that there are frogs there. It is right by right through a lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a body of water between where the audience is and the stage. It's the Russian River, actually.
Through the Russian River.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The big gong is never good at rituals.
All right, so let's not focus on the ceremony too much. It's possible that this play just became a tradition. So in his paper, A Relative Advantage, Sociology of the San Francisco Bohemian Club by Dr. Peter Martin Phillips writes, now, this is a really interesting report. If you read this, we'll get that down a little bit. If you read this, it goes over so much stuff, and it says thank you to the Bohemian Club members that helped with the statistics. There's statistics in this thing. Membership, I mean, it's about 88 pages or something, but I really recommend that you read A Relative Advantage, and all our sources for everything that we talked about here are going to be posted right in the description of our thing there. So like I said, Dr. Peter Martin Phillips with 3 first names. Here we go. This owl shrine was built in 1929 to serve as a ceremonial site for traditional Bohemian rituals and is used yearly for the Cremation of Care ceremony. 1910 marked the first ceremonial burial of the Cares of the world during the midsummer encampment, and by 1913 Care was being cremated during the first weekend of the Grove, coming from the Annals of the Bohemian Grove in 1972. Because he's got a lot of sources. This is for a doctorate, actually. This was his report to become a doctorate. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe
a thesis, maybe?
Maybe.
Or just a doctoral review. Yeah.
Doctoral something. This ceremony has been rewritten on several occasions, but the theme is still the same.
Okay.
So
numerous revisions, but it's all
cut
all
that there. So it's 107 years old this year. So maybe this tradition is just that. Maybe it's a mock human sacrifice or a way of inviting men to let their hair down, let down their hair, and to burn away their care. That doesn't sound weird at all, right? Let down your hair and burn away your care. Boy, I tell you what.
That'd make you throw something in there about mama and whiskey. That's a train.
You got it going on. All right, so let's... there's lots of people that want to know what goes on there.
Yeah.
That's as far as we know.
I mean, that's a lot of powerful people there.
There's a lot of powerful people there. All the powerful people are there, except for women, apparently.
Yeah.
There's no women allowed there as members. You can, I guess, work there during the day, but by 10 o'clock, you got to go.
Yeah, there was a big lawsuit in I feel like it was 83 or 84, because they didn't hire any women. It went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and
then they finally allowed them to serve food at one of the cafeterias.
I don't even know if that's even true or not. But
really,
yeah, it just sounded weird, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, but
who are they suing? The Bohemian
80s.
Club? Well, they have all the money in the world. Bohemian Club, they can pay off anybody. So
yeah,
like, oh fuck it. But there are a lot of people that want to know what goes on there. You know, I definitely want to know, and someone who you might call a hero. Mr. Mark Dice himself. We're going to roll the dice again.
All right.
He wants to know what goes on there, and he asks Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly.
of course.
He goes all on their respective talk shows, and he wants to know about the Grove. You got to respect this guy's tenacity. We have played these clips over and over, but they always bear fucking repeating. You know, let's go ahead. I used to have a theme song for it, but why don't we just go ahead and roll the dice? That's right.
John in San Diego, you're next on the EIB network. Hello.
Since I have you on the line, Rush, have you seen the video of the Bohemian Grove ceremony that Alex Jones produced that's on Google Video?
No, been
Google
invited
Video.
to Bohemian Grove, but I've never been there. And I've not seen the video.
Now, at first he plays dumb, but then when I press him again, you can see he gets quite aggravated and then goes on a rant showing that he does know all about the Bohemian Grove.
Courtesy of
Do you know about the activities within the Grove? Can you talk about that?
No, because I've never been there. All I know is that it's a bunch of elitists and power brokers who conduct secret meetings to take over the world, and they run around nude. It's all men, no women are allowed, and they run around, and you can find them going to bathroom on the side of trees and so forth, and they have people come out and make speeches to them and all that. And I know it was started by members of the San Francisco Symphony, way back, who were shunned from San Francisco society, so they formed their own little club there. Up in Northern California.
Or is that the story you're supposed to say?
Yeah. Where do you find these people?
Is that to his producer?
Have you ever heard of the Bohemian Grove? Oh, you haven't? He believes the Bohemian Grove is the CFR in the woods. The Bohemian Grove was started by members of the San Francisco Symphony or some orchestra way back, many years ago, shunned by San Francisco society. They have camps. It goes on for 3 or 4 weeks up in the Russian River area of Northern California. And there are members from all over the world, and they can take guests. There are people that come out and speak to them. It's rustic living. It's great food. It's great cooking. But people believe that it is nothing more than a secret meeting of world conspiracists who are out to take over the world's money supply and all these other things. I've been asked to speak at the Bohemian Grove, and I'll guarantee you this. Who he hung up? Who was this guy's name? John? Is that what you... John in San Diego. John, I guarantee you, if the Bohemian Grove is what you think it is, I would never have been invited there as many times, nor would I have been invited to go out and make... Some of my best golf buddies are members of the place, and they go out there and do it. It's just a social thing. It's just a pure social thing, and they do bring in entertainment and speakers. And it's rustic living out on the Russian River. And everybody has these fearful conspiracies and theories about it.
San Diego, KFMB, John on the Sean Hannity Show.
Sean
hey, John,
Hannity,
how are you?
The Bohemian Grove, have you been there? Do you know about it?
I'm very aware of it. I've been invited. I've never gone.
Do you know about the mock human sacrifice ritual?
Goodbye.
See, I think he could get further if he didn't mention the mock human sacrifice right away.
Just talk about how you word John, San Diego, KFMB. Hey, John, how are you?
It's on again, same
Good.
name.
Let's talk about the Bohemian Grove and the kickoff of their summer festival in July, which is a mock human sacrifice, Sean.
You're out of your mind. You're a sicko. Where's Mark Levin when I need him?
You big dope.
This guy's a nutcase.
KFMB San Diego. John next. Sean Hannity Show. John, how are you?
Good. Instead of hurling in...
No, leave him up. Don't hang up on him.
the issue instead of hurling
tenacity.
insults and ad
Just
hominem.
keeps calling and getting into a
You're a kook.
national talk radio show.
Yeah.
You're
over and over.
I can't even get in to win tickets at the radio station. How is this guy getting through?
It's probably easier to get on the Sean Hannity.
But have you looked up what happens in the Bohemian Grove?
I have
The Cremation
no
of Care?
idea. By the way, folks, he calls literally day and night, 24/7, and that's all he talks about. And he runs to his website, puts the information. Hannity wouldn't deal with the Bohemian Grove again.
Bohemian.
He's a nut.
He's a nut. Yeah.
Let's go to John in San Diego. What's going on, John?
He's a nut.
Can you address the Bohemian Grove Club private presidential?
You know, these guys in San Diego, it's too nice. The weather's too nice.
Well, that time he just said Bohemian Grove and got cut off.
I used to have a house in San Diego.
Right.
Not everybody. But you go out to the beach and you know, do all that. And then some kind of substance gets in your mind. And then John just demonstrated, like, can I address the Bohemian whatever?
Whatever.
You know. John, San Diego. What's going
here
on,
goes
John?
Bill O'Reilly
How do you
here.
feel about the private presidential resort, the Bohemian Grove, having...
All right, I don't know what you're talking about.
Cuts him off right away.
And I don't care.
Didn't even mention Mock-Human Sacrifice.
You know, you get the Kool-Aid crew. The Bohemian Grove. All right. Let's go to San Diego. John. What's going on, John?
If this is a no-spin zone, why are you...
Later, John.
San Diego, California. John's in the no-spin zone. Go.
Many people are aware that President Bush is a member of the Skull and Bones Secret Society and dismiss the rituals as juvenile fraternity pranksters and fun. But what about when they...
All right, John. I mean, ridiculous.
Come on. He couldn't have given him
moron,
a chance to ask the question. Here comes another one.
888-727-BECK. Let's go to San Diego. Welcome to the
San
Glenn Beck
Diego.
program.
Now, I was wondering if you've read the book, The Resistance Manifesto. I know that you're a big fan of the Bohemian Grove, and I thought you could expand on the...
Yeah, he's got to get it out right away because obviously he has a different question to get on.
Yeah, do me a favor.
And
the
skull screener was all like...
If you would have asked my phone screener that question. Don't lie to my phone screener. We take you off the air immediately and won't deal with you. You might have just gotten that whole show that we were going to do on that topic.
Oh, really?
Taken out of line.
Yeah.
I might not do it now.
Oh, okay.
Because you pissed me off.
Oh. Yes, there he is. There it is, rolling the dice there. And I'll tell you one thing.
I might not do it now because you pissed me off.
He's a nut. He's a nut. So, you know, Alex Jones is in on this action. We've been talking about Alex Jones because he's our hero here. Yeah. I'll tell you what, him and Mark Dice, not that much of a hero, but I like what he's doing when he talks about Bohemian Grove and all that good stuff. But
certain things they're really passionate on.
Yeah, when he talks about liberals and shit, I mean, some of the stuff he's right about, but, you know, come on. You sound like a white supremacist sometimes when you say Black Lives Don't Matter. It just sounds bad. So Alex Jones confronts David Gergen, who? He's a former presidential advisor who served during the administrations of Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, and Bill Clinton. Check this out.
One last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, what was it, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you, oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, hey, I don't run around in the woods naked. What did that mean? Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article where he said, "I didn't run around naked like they do."
I didn't run around naked.
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that.
Anyway, how is your sex life?
Have you been there for the ceremony with the Cremation of Care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But it's a lot of big public officials going in there. Don't we deserve to know?
I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials.
I'm sorry. You took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film. And did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them up after.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual gentlemanly?
Showing a clip. This is from Inside the Bohemian Grove
Sir,
by Alex Jones.
I don't owe you this comment. I know. This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you and goodbye.
Been in the ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Oh,
wow.
That's right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest of us to say, "Oh well, you're
there, Mr. Gergen."
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously, you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders come out here. Yeah, that is a three-pointer. Woo! Boy, I hit the hot button. Mr. Gergen, have a wonderful life.
Did he just
Say
turn
hi
and
to
walk
Mullet
away?
For me.
Turned and walked away.
Wow.
And I'll see you at Eyes Wide Shut, baby. Bye-bye.
Yeah, eyes wide shut.
What really goes on here, man? They want to know so bad. I want to know so freaking bad. But that's the big mystery.
Are we entitled to an explanation as Americans? No,
we're not. It's a secret fucking club, you know. What goes on in the Magician's Club?
Yeah.
What do you think goes on in the Magician's Club?
Stays in the Magician's Club?
What do you think happens in a Magician's Club?
Oh man, I bet y'all get freaky.
Well, what do you? Come on, what do you actually think?
Making body parts disappear. I mean,
we do magic in a magic
Okay.
what about a business?
You conduct business
club. Yeah.
And Bohemian Grove, you get business, bankers, politicians. What do they do for fun?
Yeah. Then there you go. You have that. You go to a bikers club. What do you usually do there?
Bike and drink.
That's right. Tell you what.
A little bit of cocaine every now and then.
Drinking always happens in club. Club means drink in German, I think.
Really?
Okay, so it is said that the first discussions of the A-bomb had happened there on the campgrounds. Of course, we know the motto, "Weaving spiders come not here." But how can we believe that the campers are not, quote-unquote, weaving?
Weaving.
Why are you saying it that way? Richard Nixon, my favorite fucking thing that he says on here. I'm going to pull this sucker up there. But he's got something to say. But he also, firstly, he says in his memoirs that this is the first milestone to his presidency.
Well, that this made his presidency. Is that correct?
That famous speech, I guess we don't know about it yet, but it wasn't. He says that the famous speech that happened on the lakeside, the Bohemian Club, was the first. He didn't. I'm just saying, doing his voice, was the first milestone to my presidency. He said.
Okay.
But why would Richard Nixon say such a thing like this?
That way, the Bohemian Grove that I attend on time to time. The Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd because it's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
So yeah, he says it's the faggiest thing you can imagine or whatever going on there.
Okay.
So why would he say that?
I mean, then he obviously knew something weird, something faggy was going on.
Next week, we will dive deeper into the mystery of the Grove. Did you know that Walt Disney went to the Grove?
I did not.
We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Did you know
next week.
Hunter S. Thompson went?
Did he?
Or he was at least invited.
I'm sure he was invited, but
I don't know for sure if he
was
went.
ready to hide to attend. Also, former employees of the Grove speak out, and we learn about the speculations involving a sex worker and his diary.
Oh.
Next week on Emergency Exit. Magic of podcasts.
Yes, it is.
All right, you guys. That was our, our first part of the two-parter of Bohemian Grove. Full list of our sources will be in the description of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been another episode of Emergency Exit, though, albeit a short one. Hope it was jam-packed full of information, because next week is going to be much more fun. I'm guessing, because we had to really give you the base of what goes on there, who goes there, so that we can not have to describe ourselves too much in the next one and just go into speculation and go into Paul Benassi. Which is
we're going to have some fun with the next one.
Talk about some of those employees that have come out and said things. OC Weekly's got one.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable Podcast has an exclusive one that we'll talk about probably briefly. Walt Disney, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, you guys, we love you. Don't you just love the audience, bro?
Oh yes, definitely. They are the best. We had a few come out and see us at our live show.
Yes, thank you guys for coming out. If you came out to the live show, there are some new people that are listening now because of it. So we're gonna try to get into some more of these places there. I gotta turn that down a little bit there before it gets too fucking loud.
Here we go. It's a race. There we go. Yeah.
You know that means that is the end of our show.
That is it.
Make sure to check us out on iTunes. Give us a rating on iTunes, please. 5 stars would be preferred. We've been streaming live on Facebook. And we'll stream live anywhere, anytime if we have the internet. Give us an email. emergencyexitpodcast@gmail.com. We'll also, pretty soon, we'll be having emergencyexitpodcast.com coming up.
Yeah, actually, we currently have it. There's just nothing there.
We own it, but there's nothing there. We got to build a site.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're also on Twitter. EMEXPod. EMEXPOD.
That is correct.
Anything else to add, dude?
That's it, man. We're trying to get a couple more live shows coming in. Try and get out there and listen to everybody, or get in front of people.
If you have a venue, please let us know. Yeah. Give us a call if you have a venue and you want us to do the show there. So, for Brandon, I'm Los. Emergency Exit. That's right.